Money is on Blake Lively being wrong. No matter what you do in life, you never, ever, ever go full Amber Heard.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
Blackmail, extortion, boycotts, or maybe something spicier, like a secret love triangle. The Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni drama just flipped upside down with shocking new proof that's making people wonder, is Blake facing criminal charges? And then there's Taylor Swift, once again, right in the thick of it. She's not just a bystander anymore. Turns out, the evidence piling up suggests Taylor's involvement runs deeper than anyone expected. Some are even saying she's been stirring the pot from the very beginning. With her name being dragged in alongside Blake and Ryan Reynolds, it's making you wonder, was she orchestrating the chaos? But wait, let's talk about Ryan Reynolds. Is he really just playing the role of a loyal husband, stepping up to defend Blake in her battle against Justin Baldoni? Or could he be on a mission of revenge? According to explosive new clues, Ryan's motives may not be as clean as they seem. Here's where things heat up. Rumors of a possible fling between Blake and Justin have been swirling for months, but now we've got receipts. Text messages, behind-the-scenes accounts, and painfully awkward interviews are all starting to line up like puzzle pieces pointing to a messy affair.
Hollywood true crime. We're getting pieces coming out.
Right.
Every lawsuit and every complaint that are filling us in on what actually happened. And that's what I think myself and so many people are invested in. I didn't know who this Justin Baldoni guy was. No offense, didn't really care.
Right.
But the more I'm learning about what Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds seemingly did, they're trying to cover up a crime. That's what I really do think is happening.
The evidence paints a picture. Blake and Justin had something going on, and Ryan didn't take it lightly. If you break down the timeline of key events, the confrontations, cryptic posts, and sudden fallout, this love triangle theory goes from tabloid rumor to a pretty convincing scandal. As the war between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni rages on, the evidence keeps piling up, and every new reveal makes Blake's position look worse. What started as a legal spat is spiraling into a scandal that's threatening to explode. But it's not just the bombshells dropped by Justin's legal team.
The alleged tension between these two. If you look at the full complaint, there are texts between them that go on and on about their connection and how he really likes her. He loves this version of her, but he loves the other version of her too. At 11 o'clock at night, and I'm telling you, it's felt flirty.
Oh no, there's plenty of dirt leaking through back channels too, with insiders from the It Ends With Us set dishing out what really went down behind the scenes. And if you thought the drama ended with on-set disagreements, think again. Candace Owens has taken it upon herself to be the ultimate exposer, digging deep to reveal that Blake and Ryan Reynolds may have been plotting to take down Justin long before her lawsuit ever hit the courtroom. In fact, their alleged scheme was already brewing before that explosive New York Times article left Justin's reputation in tatters.
All agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high.
Now, before we dive into Blake's potential legal nightmare, we've got to talk about Taylor Swift and her role in this chaos. Because, let's face it, without context, you miss half the plot. And trust me, Taylor wasn't just a spectator. She was in the mix from the very beginning. According to Justin's claims, Blake and Ryan pulled Taylor into their plan to pressure him into accepting script rewrites. These weren't minor tweaks either. They were rewrites that completely altered Justin's vision for the film. Let's not forget, Justin wasn't just some director for hire. He had major control over the project, writer, producer, director, and even owner of the book rights. But none of that stopped Blake, Ryan, and Taylor from allegedly going after him. Blake once even bragged about her power play, calling herself the Great Kaizai from Game of Thrones, and referring to Ryan and Taylor as her two dragons. Together, they allegedly bullied Justin into submission, pushing him to accept changes he didn't want, changes that now sit at the center of this entire scandal. Taylor Swift turns on Blake Lively? Oh, it's real, and it's messy. The fallout from Blake's legal battle with Justin Baldoni has gotten so bad that even Taylor is reportedly backing away. And the kicker? The Daily Mail wasn't shy about splashing this headline. Exclusive! Taylor Swift distancing herself from Blake Lively as the dramatic feud with Justin Baldoni threatens their decade-long friendship. At first, it might sound like just another tabloid scoop, right? Wrong. This isn't just idle gossip. This story reeks of Taylor's involvement. And here's why it matters. According to Candace Owens, who's been uncovering everything in this scandal, it looks like Taylor may have planted this story herself.
Taylor Swift has plugs, especially at the Daily Mail, when she wants to get a narrative out. The person that works for her is this woman named Tree, and Tree is allegedly vicious. She will protect Taylor Swift's reputation by any means necessary, and they fold. Okay, the editors, the writers, journalists, when she says put something in the mail, it gets done. And I'm not saying that part allegedly. That is a fickety fact.
If that's true, it's not just a PR move. It's a full-blown power play. The article itself drops some serious tea, with claims that Taylor felt used by Blake and reduced to something less than a friend. In fact, Taylor allegedly felt more like a pet or possession in Blake's eyes. And here's where it gets shady. Blake's infamous text to Justin, where she called herself Khaleesi and referred to Taylor and Ryan as her dragons, is what really set Taylor off. According to the source, Taylor saw it as an intimidation tactic, and she wasn't having it. Uncool and unnecessary, the article states. But here's the big question. Was Taylor really a pawn in Blake's plan to pressure Justin? Or is this narrative part of Taylor's own strategic distancing? The article drops another hint. Taylor wasn't even supposed to be involved. She was reportedly only visiting Blake and Ryan under the impression that the meeting wouldn't go beyond casual. Now, with this bombshell article making the rounds, it's clear that Taylor's done playing nice, and she's making sure everyone knows it.
So her follow-up text, which reads like a psycho, obviously, I'm Khaleesi, these are my dragons. She said it because you did something, okay? He clearly texted and said you didn't have to do.
So, according to the article, Taylor Swift was supposedly never meant to be part of that meeting between Blake, Ryan, and Justin. Seems innocent enough, right? But here's the burning question. If Taylor wasn't invited, why didn't she just wait until the meeting was over? Instead, it's starting to look like she inserted herself into the mix. And that's where the drama begins. But hold on, because things are about to get even juicier and a little creepy. Candace Owens has another bombshell, suggesting Taylor's involvement didn't stop at just attending that awkward meeting. She may have had a hand in a much bigger hit job, the very article that took down Justin Baldoni. Yes, the infamous New York Times report. Here's where things get wild. After some deep dive internet sleuthing, investigators found a suspicious connection. There's a clip of a guy telling Taylor to sleep tight, and that guy is none other than Ronan Farrow. Now, why does that matter? Because, as the Daily Mail once spilled, Taylor and Ronan are close friends. They even ran a headline.
Recall that I kept saying that someone like Blake Lively, this was my gut instinct, she could not have had the star power to get the New York Times to put their entire professional reputation on the line to smear someone like Justin Baldoni. They are just not in that camp of celebrities. Blake Lively cannot get Pulitzer Prize winning New York Times journalists to smear someone like Justin Baldoni. That was why I was drawn to Taylor Swift as a
Taylor Swift's surprising new friendship with liberal journalist Ronan Farrow revealed, and Ronan isn't just any journalist. He's basically the godfather of the Me Too movement. He's the one who blew the lid off the Harvey Weinstein scandal and changed Hollywood forever. But here's the kicker. Ronan has connections to the New York Times, the same publication that broke the story about Blake accusing Justin of misconduct. Now, according to Candace Owens, there's no way Blake and Ryan had enough influence to pull this off on their own. They just don't have the star power to sway a major publication like that. So, if Candace is right, it's possible that Taylor, through her close ties to Ronan, helped plant the article that obliterated Justin's reputation. And if that's true, this whole scandal is way messier than we ever imagined. Guess who does have the power to sway a major publication like the New York Times? Yep, Taylor Swift. And if all the pieces of this puzzle are true, then buckle up, Because what comes next is absolutely wild. The video clip of Taylor and Ronan Farrow was taken in early November 2024, just 1 month before the New York Times dropped its bombshell article targeting Justin Baldoni. Coincidence? Internet detectives and even Candace Owens don't think so. The question being asked now is, did Taylor Swift work behind the scenes with Blake and Ryan to plant the New York Times piece, discredit Justin, and ultimately steal his film out from under him? The timeline fits too perfectly, and what we're about to uncover could shatter Taylor's claims of innocence.
This post is August 12th, okay? So just to give you the timeline, it ends with us. World premiere was August 6th. That's when they had the red carpet premiere. Justin Baldoni gets put into the basement. August 9th is when you, me, if we wanted to, could go see it in theaters. This person on August 12th decides to write a whole long post because they're overcome with emotion and they don't know where to drop it. And that's what Reddit's for, right? You can't say it to people that you know, so you just drop it on the platform. And look what this person says. This is amazing.
But the real shocker? There's a Reddit post from 6 months before the New York Times article was published, and it's sending conspiracy theorists into overdrive. Why? Because this post, which had somehow slipped under the radar until now, includes details about the Blake-Justin scandal before the drama even became public. Whoever posted it clearly knew what was happening behind the scenes long before the media frenzy kicked off. Let's break down the post. According to the anonymous user, Blake claimed that Justin made her feel uncomfortable on set. One incident in particular was mentioned. Justin allegedly told Blake she looked sexy in her outfit during filming. Sound familiar? It's eerily similar to the accusations that later formed the basis of the public allegations against Justin. If this Reddit post is legitimate, it could be the smoking gun that proves Blake engaged in shady, illegal tactics to set Justin up for public humiliation and take control of his project. And if Taylor had any hand in helping orchestrate this scheme, the fallout could be massive, maybe even criminal. We don't know the full context around everything, but here's what we do know. Justin Baldoni has already proven that Blake Lively's claims were misleading. But things only get messier from here. Let's dive into what really went down behind the scenes, especially when it comes to Blake's battle for control of the movie. Apparently, Justin wasn't satisfied with the original editor's cut of It Ends With Us, so he hired his own team to create his vision of the movie. But Blake wasn't having it. She wanted to create her own version of the film. The problem? Sony wasn't on board. They shut her down, refusing to give her the creative freedom she demanded. That's where this Reddit post comes in, and it's absolutely crucial. Remember, this post was made long before any of the drama became public knowledge, so whoever wrote it clearly had insider information. The post claims that when Blake didn't get her way, she went directly to Sony with an ultimatum. And this is where things get dark. Blake allegedly threatened to take a damaging story to the New York Times if Sony didn't let her have full control of her own version of the movie. What kind of story? According to the post, Blake threatened to accuse Justin of inappropriate behavior on set. Allegations so serious that Sony panicked and gave in. They caved under pressure, letting Blake take over the project and release her version of the film. But here's the kicker. This all happened before Blake's lawsuit and before the scandal hit the public eye. Everything in this post has lined up perfectly with what we've now learned. But just when you think it's over, Blake throws another curveball. Even after Sony gave her exactly what she wanted, she went to the New York Times with the accusations anyway. The very story she used as blackmail became the public takedown of Justin Baldoni. It's almost too calculated to believe, but the receipts are piling up. What started as behind-the-scenes drama is now looking like a carefully crafted plan of blackmail, manipulation, and revenge. Why? That's the million-dollar question. But let's be real. It all sounds pretty criminal, doesn't it? And believe it or not, the post gets even more disturbing. Let's dive into the rest of the revelations and break down the facts that'll leave you questioning everything. According to the post, Justin was banned from the Sony lot. Maybe not permanently, but at least during the production of the movie. Blake, meanwhile, was busy running her own show. She hired Taylor Swift's music video editors to help cut her version of the movie while she was off filming something in Italy. But here's where things take a bizarre turn. She organizes a friends and family screening, inviting some major A-listers, including Ben Affleck and Bradley Cooper, to gauge their reactions. The verdict? Cringe. The audience reportedly found the movie confusing and incoherent. Blake realized she needed a seasoned editor to save it, so she brought in someone with more experience. But that's not all. This next bit ties Taylor Swift even deeper into the scandal. Blake used a Taylor Swift song in the movie, and the studio was thrilled about it. But Taylor wasn't so thrilled when she discovered that the original film composer was someone she had a rocky past with. So what did Taylor do? She allegedly gave Sony an ultimatum. It's me or him. And guess what? Sony caved, firing the composer just to keep Taylor's song in the movie. The replacement? None other than the composer from Deadpool, the perfect tie-in for Ryan Reynolds. And here's the kicker. Everything mentioned in this post seems to be shockingly accurate. From the band access to the lot, to Taylor pulling strings and getting producers fired, it all lines up with what we've uncovered so far. But the final twist takes us back to that infamous rumor. You know, the one about a supposed fling between Blake and Justin that allegedly set off Ryan Reynolds' jealous meltdown. For those still wondering if there was any truth to that, well, the pieces are falling into place, and the truth might be messier than anyone imagined. Don't worry, I've got all the details laid out for you, and trust me, this is juicy enough to keep you hooked. Once again, we can thank Candace Owens for connecting the dots and putting together this scandalous puzzle. While Blake was filming It Ends With Us alongside Justin Baldoni, Ryan Reynolds was away shooting Deadpool vs. Wolverine. And here's where the theory comes in. Blake and Justin supposedly got a little too cozy, sparking major jealousy from Ryan. According to insiders and leaked text messages between Blake and Justin, this wasn't just friendly banter. It was flirty enough to raise eyebrows. Now, here's where things split. Some believe Blake tried to sabotage Justin so she could gain full control of the movie, but others are pointing fingers directly at Ryan, claiming he's the mastermind behind Justin's downfall, driven by sheer jealousy. And believe it or not, there's evidence that might back this up. Take a closer look at certain scenes in Deadpool, where Ryan appears to be throwing not-so-subtle shade at Justin Baldoni. One notable moment? A line about Lady Poole having just had a baby. In real life, Blake had recently given birth, and part of the controversy involved her accusing Justin of fat-shaming her. But Justin hit back, proving through text message receipts that her accusations were completely unfounded. Then, there's another cringe-worthy jab, a comment about a dog shopping for a new papa, which feels eerily like a dig at Blake allegedly shopping for a new man. Coincidence or a calculated insult aimed at Justin? And if that's not enough, wait until you hear Ryan's comments in this next interview. The tension, the awkward jokes. Knowing what we do now, it's hard to watch without cringing. Could Ryan have been airing his dirty laundry in plain sight? The subtle shots, the cryptic humor, and Blake's rumored flirtation with Justin? It's all adding up to a behind-the-scenes drama that's juicier than any Hollywood script. Still not convinced Ryan Reynolds has a pattern of mocking his targets on screen? Just listen to what TJ Miller, his Deadpool co-star, had to say. Ryan pulled the same exact stunt on him, and it didn't end well. Ouch! You know that one hit deep. And guess what? Fans are noticing it too, and they're not holding back. Social media is lighting up with people standing by Justin and calling out Ryan and Blake for their behavior. The common sentiment? Ryan and Blake are bullies. They use their so-called jokes to humiliate others while hiding behind humor. One fan even pointed out how Ryan's awkwardness toward TJ Miller spread to the entire crew, creating a toxic environment. And surprise, that's exactly what Justin experienced while filming It Ends With Us. The post-production crew and cast reportedly became cold and distant toward him after Blake and Ryan's involvement. Manipulation? Bullying? It's starting to look like a pattern. And Blake's power moves behind the scenes weren't just about creative control. They might have been fueled by a personal vendetta. But now, it's time to ask. Did Blake and Justin's alleged chemistry spark something that Ryan couldn't handle, leading him to take drastic measures? And where does Taylor Swift fit into this tangled web of drama? Could she be just as guilty as Blake and Ryan in Justin's downfall? And most importantly, is Blake's behavior skating dangerously close to criminal territory? We want to hear from you. Do you think Ryan and Blake crossed the line, or is this just another Hollywood scandal blown out of proportion? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to stay in the loop. There's more tea to spill, and we've got plenty of juicy content waiting for you on our channel.